Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Leman Ask Me Anything. We've been collecting questions for this past week, and so we will dive right away into the question and answer because we did receive a significant amount of questions. If we have enough time at the end of the IMA, which for now we have planned for 60 minutes, we may take open questions and answer them at the end. But if we don't have time, you can still ask the question in any of our channel, and we'll then answer them later on. So to start, the first question: what does it mean, Schnorr signature support for the average user and for that developer? Polto, that's for you.
Yeah, so Schnorr support comes in two parts with this upgrade. So the first part is on the wallet side and the second part on the VM side. So on the wallet side, it's for now implemented only in the extension wallet, and we will see which parts we will implement in the other wallets. So on the wallet side, the Schnorr signatures allow for increased privacy because you can make different transactions undistinguishable from each other, like multi-sig or single sig, for example. You can also aggregate signatures and so preserve space on the blockchain, so make transaction cheaper for large transactions with large number of signers or large number of UTXO. You can interact with different Schnorr-based apps such as Nostr, for example, the Nostr social media protocol. And on the VM side, it has multiple potential application that we have to see. One of them is interoperability with other blockchains and other protocol. So we will be able to check Schnorr signatures in the VM. So that's basically what it will enable for devs, VM integration of Schnorr, and for users, all the things I mentioned on the wallet.
Perfect. Thank you very much. The next question will be for you, Cheng. It appears that Leman is providing substantial token support to all the software within the ecosystem. Can you provide more information on what the core team and community can expect to be built on top of it in the near future?
Yeah, so in the near future, I and the core team will expect to see a launch of like DEX, Bridge, and the NFT, which we have been developing and testing for a while. Plus, we have seen a few community teams and the devs, they are working on them too, so which is fantastic. And for the core team, in the next phase, once the Leman upgrade is deployed, we will be focused on infrastructure and the prototyping the most important DeFi primitives, such as Oracle, stablecoin, and the lending protocols. And at the same time, we are also going to explore some of the new use cases, such as the decentralized social network. With the new Schnorr signature, I just mentioned by Portal, there will be exciting projects that could be worked on with Bitcoin and Nostr protocol. So overall, I personally feel very excited about the potential of the upgrades, and we cannot wait to see what the community can build with it. And we are going to show that the transaction fee is very cheap on Alefium, the sharding works perfectly on Alefium, and the dev experience, the security is also perfect on Alefium. That's it.
Cool, thank you so much. The next one is also for you, but that's a faster one. Alefium, does Alefium have any plan to integrate with popular Oracle solution like Chainlink or any other DEX-based Oracle?
Yes, so the after the upgrades, there will be a lot of the apps they will need to access to Oracle. So the first option is always to integrate with the existing oracles, but that is kind of not under our control. We are going to talk to many of them, and also at the same time, we're going to explore how to build oracles by ourselves. Regarding DEX-based oracle, I think it has been proven that in the industry that it's not really a secure option to use the DEX price for as the first oracle. Usually it's used as a secondary oracle for double check, for example. Yeah, so we will not use the DEX oracle. We will use the more robust oracle like Chainlink or etc.
Thank you very much. And so the next question is a little bit more for me. So after the upgrade, what does the team have planned for bringing new developers and projects to the platform? So there are a number of things that we have already started and will continue to grow. One of the big one is that we will have our first hackathon soon, as we always say. We will also try to attend and be, again, a little bit more visible in developer events. We will continue to engage and gain visibility in like-minded developer community. So I think all of you have seen that we've done a lot of tech talk where we invited developers from other projects to talk into our community. So this is an easy way for us to become visible and engage with like-minded community in an ecosystem where people already believe in some of the technical choice that we have made. So we will continue to do that to gain visibility around this community and improve also, collaboration between different projects. We already have started a little bit some partnership and integration with like-minded open source projects. I think you have seen the partnership that we've done with DAppNode to help, and make it more accessible for people to run their own node and a number of different packages on Alefium. Obviously, we have our grant program. We will also soon be able to start maybe a more proactive bounty program where we would be publishing bounties for developers to pick and having, a reward associated to the bounties. And last but not least, we are working on an ambassador-like program where we can also, work with the community to increase our reach and the knowledge in a more organic way. So that would be my answer for this. And the next question is also for me. So can I share any exciting ecosystem project currently in the works? So as Cheng mentioned 2 questions ago, there are already people and teams in the community that are working on DEX, NFTs, and we have at least 2 different teams that are looking into an Alefium name service. So hopefully this is something, we may see also soon enough. Okay, next question is a bit long. So with the upcoming bridge to decentralized stablecoin, with the coming bridge to centralized stablecoin like USDC, USDT, how will this token be represented on Alefium, and what is the plan for the native issuance of those tokens? Since native token cannot be blocked directly, will the bridge be a single point of failure for USDC, for example? And in the event that Circle is forced to lock someone's coin on Alefium, how will this be handled? Polto, that is for you.
Yeah, so basically we will probably not bridge any centralized stablecoin to Alefium because of this exact risk. So if we have to, obviously anyone can bridge any token, but on our side we will probably privilege decentralized stablecoins such as DAI or LUSD. For the issuer themselves, like Tether or USDC, they will have to consider and to take the risk of issuing an unseizable token. So, yeah.
Thank you, Polto. So this one is a short question, but with a long answer from several members of the backend developers. Is there a plan to make it easier to create tokens on Alefium, a token standard, for example, like ERC20? So Cheng, I'll let you start, and then the rest of the backend team can continue and elaborate on your answer.
Yeah, that's a good question. We have been working on token standards for a while now, including the standards for fungible token and the non-fungible token. We drew a lot of inspiration from the existing solutions in the Ethereum ecosystem, and we merged those ideas into our stateful UTXO model. With our model, token becomes the first-class citizen in the blockchain. This makes it much easier to build advanced token on top of it. Our token standard actually is much simpler and dev-friendly, and the most important is more secure than the token standard used in the EVM. I will let Muqian and Hongzhao to elaborate with examples.
Yep. We have introduced the iFungible token standard in our Web3 SDK. It tells us what metadata to expect for fungible tokens. It is similar to ERC20, but way simpler because the UTXO module natively and safely supports transfer methods. And to create tokens, you can use the VMC instructions. They can be held by its contract or user address. And we use the fungible token standard in our DEX prototype and bridge. In the DEX, the token pair contract holds all the liquidity tokens and only gives them to users when they add liquidity. In the bridge, the token wrap contract maps tokens from another chain to Alefium and then sends them to users once their transfer transaction on the source chain is successful. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Munchen. Hongxiao, do you have something to add?
Mike. Sorry about that. So similar to like what Munchen described about the fungible tokens, we also created like a standard interfaces for the NFT and NFT collection contracts, and we also added them into our Web3 SDK. So these standards defines like a minimum set of interfaces, like methods that we want the contracts to expose, and like some of the like information that those contracts should have, like the metadata and so on. For example, NFTs, we would like it to have like an image, for example. And we got a lot. We take a lot of inspirations from, for example, like EIP 721. And we have an NFT prototype, and we used those standard interfaces to implement our NFT prototypes. And we have implemented like two very common use cases. One is for like pre-minting, which is for like for example, artists who wants to like mint a collection of arts and and then sell it to the market, or a open minting kind of strategy, where the artists probably like just create a bunch of arts without minting, and then they want to like publish these to the market and let the buyers to the mint. And we have those two kind of examples in the NFT prototype, and hopefully those examples can demonstrate that creating like NFT contracts are pretty straightforward on Alefium. And also we support those NFT standards in our wallets. So for example, like these NFTs should be displayed on the expansion wallet fairly soon. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. So the next question that I will take, and if anyone else from the team wants to add something to my response, please jump ahead. Is there a plan to make it easier to build compliant centralized token? How would something like this affect composability? So we have had interest from developers in our community to build compliant token and smart contract standard on Alefium. So this is something that is being discussed. With regard to how something like this can affect composability, all centralization to some extent can affect composability. Atomic composability is only possible on chain, so depending on where the centralization occurs, part of this composability could be lost. I don't know if anyone a bit more technical than me might want to add something to this. Otherwise, I'll go to the next question. And so I will go to the next question. So the next question, many dApp rely on smart contract holding funds, which puts users' funds at risk. While Alfred virtual machine has advantages after EVM, I'm wondering if there is any plans to make full use of the UTXO safety in order to mitigate this risk. For example, could a peer-to-peer settlement model like CoSwap could be implemented in UTXO without a pool? Are there any source of inspiration that could be used to address this issue? If someone from the backend developers would like to take this question.
Yes, that's a great question. I can see that he definitely understands very well the UTXO model. First, I don't see it as an issue of Alefium. It really depends on the actual implementation of the dApp. Let me explain. So in Alefium blockchain, all of the assets, including contract assets, they are based on UTXO model, which provides a high levels of security by default. However, for contract assets, the UTXO is protected by a smart contract instead of a private key. So it means that the safety of the UTXO also depends on the correctness of the contract. For example, for an AMA DEX, it could store the liquidity in a contract UTXO, is still UTXO, but it will be protected by the DEX contract. But even in this case, the good news is that Alefium's virtual machine and the rough programming language could make the writing safe contract very easy compared to EVM and the Solidity. Last time, I'm very glad that you brought up the peer-to-peer settlement. it's actually a great match with the UTXO model of Alefium, because you can have multiple inputs from multiple addresses in just a single transaction. So you can do this kind of peer-to-peer transactions very easily on Alefium. If you try to do this on EVM, at least you need 2 transactions. So yeah, if your DApp is built in this approach based on peer-to-peer transactions, settlements, or swaps, you can you don't need to get you don't need to involve contract assets. So it means the security of assets is just as great as the classical UTXO model. So this has been in our roadmap for a long time, and after the Leman upgrades, we are going to have more time. So we will definitely start to explore this direction and support these features in the endpoint, improve the support of this feature in the endpoints in the SDK, and build some applications with these.
Thank you, Cheng. So now we are going to be diving a little bit into the front end and our different wallets. So will Leman introduce new functionalities to the desktop wallet, and what are they? I don't know, Mika, how your connection is. Maybe you can take this question.
Let's try. Yeah, I can. Okay. I can take it. Yeah. Thanks, Maud. So yeah, of course, the Leman upgrade will definitely make it possible to have new features. What you will be able to see in our next wallet releases is you will obviously see the list of tokens you received. You will be able to send your own tokens. You'll be able to connect to dApps by using Wallet Connect. You'll be able to interact with dApps by signing messages directly through the desktop wallet, and also in the future with the mobile wallet. You will have access to more advanced dApp options for developers through the desktop wallet, like deploying and calling contracts, for instance. And what you will see as well, in addition to the features directly related to the Leman upgrade, we did work quite a lot on the design, the UI and the UX, to make it easy to use the wallets. So you will see that in the next release of our desktop wallet that should come in the next couple of weeks. So we can't wait for you to actually try and see this new V2 wallet.
Thank you, Mika. So next question is about the front end. Will the desktop and mobile wallet will be able to interact with smart contracts? Elias, do you want to take this question, maybe?
Yeah, sure. Just as Mika said, through Wallet Connect, it will be possible. So the dApp developer will be able to easily add a Wallet Connect component in their dApp, so that with a click of a button, your code is displayed, so you can scan it with a mobile wallet and connect your mobile wallet to the dApp, or through a dedicated desktop wallet button, you will be able to click it, and then the desktop wallet will open up and let you sign and interact with a particular dApp. So the answer is yes.
Can we sign smart contract through the desktop and mobile wallet? Will the UI account for the addition of the smart contract? Elias, I think we'd love to hear you. So this question is also for you.
For sure. Since interactions with smart contracts are essentially transactions, the desktop wallet will display transactions sent to smart contracts as well, with all information necessary. You can also interact. No, I think that's all I wanted to say. That you will be able to see the feedback from the dApps through transactions.
Thanks. So another questions about the front end. How will token be managed in the new wallet? Where can we see them? How do we send them? Basically, does the UI will account for the addition of token support?
Yes. As we said before, you'll see the tokens you own. You will be able to send them around, and you will be even able to actually send multiple assets in one transaction. You don't have to do multiple transactions to send multiple assets around. So yes, you will see your assets, and yes, you will be able to send them.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So the next question is, how much would it cost a developer or a team of developers to create a token on the Alefium chain? So I had assigned this question to Benoit, but before we started, I haven't seen if he was online. So Benoit, if you are here, you can jump in for this question. Otherwise, I can also repeatedly answer it.
I think you have to go.
I am going. So the storage rent on Alefium is a minimum of 1 AL for smart contract. This is a value that has been set in the beginning of the project. And in the future, you know, if this rent storage minimum doesn't make sense, this is always something that could be changed at a later stage. But that is it for this question. Okay. Now I have back into token and contract questions. Can a token be issued without a contract? Therefore, is it possible to issue a token without paying the storage rent? If token always implies storage rent, does it mean that the owner of the contract can delete the contract and therefore delete the token even from user accounts? Hongxiao, if you want to take this question.
Yeah, so the question is, can a token be issued without a contract? And the answer is no. So in order to create a token, you always need to create a contract. So it means that you always have to pay for the storage rent for the contract. So the second half of the question is, if token implies storage rent, does it mean that the owner of the contract can delete the contract? That depends on how the contract is written. So it's possible that the contract can be deleted destroyed by the owner. But if the token was transferred to a user's account managed by user's UTXO, even if the contract is deleted by the creator of the contract, it will not delete the token from user's UTXO, since it's already like managed by the user's private key. So that's fine. But even if that's the case, like as Muchen and I described a little bit earlier, we have like a token standard to basically define what kind of metadata a token could potentially have. For example, like an NFT could contain a pointer to an image to represent this NFT, and if the contract is deleted, then obviously you'll probably lose this piece of information on chain. So that's something to look out for. So yeah, it's possible for people to delete the contract. There are potentially information in it, but they can't delete the token if it's already transferred to UTXO. So that's the answer.
Thank you for this explanation. So the next question is, how will token be managed and controlled from the side of its creator developer? Cheng, is this a question you would like to take?
Yes. So asset management is a very hard problem. We have seen that in the EVM ecosystem, a lot of hackers are actually related to asset permissions. That's why we have developed a system called the asset permission system in Alefium based on the UTXO model. With this new system, developers, they can define rules and the conditions for the contract users tokens. And also developers and users, they can approve just the exact amounts of the token for each method call. There's no need to provide unlimited authorization like a lot of the apps nowadays doing this in EVM ecosystem. So that's on the contract level, and then at the asset level, the management of the tokens is the same as the management of UTXO in Bitcoin. So it means users have fully control of their own UTXO. They can choose the specific UTXO to use in their transactions. So this part has the greatest level of security. Yeah, so that's basically it, the UTXO and the assets management in Alefium. We have provides additional security over the EVM account model based on UTXO.
Thank you very much. So next question. How easy will it be for a new developer to mint a token on the Alefium blockchain? Where would they be able to find information about this? Hongxiao?
Yep. So we think it's fairly easy to mint a token on the Alefium blockchain. There's a couple of ways to do that. One way is, so basically minting a token requires deploying a contract. We have an endpoint to deploy the contract, and one of the parameters is to specify like how many tokens you want to issue for this contract. So that's one way to do it. So you can look at the full node like API specification to find the deploy contract endpoint, I believe. And then we have in our like Alefium docs website, the first example is actually a token faucet example, and in there we have a example of basically deploying this token faucet using the command line tool that we shipped with the Alefium Web3 library. So yeah, so you can basically create that using the command line tool. But that basically calls this endpoint on the hood. And we also, like, even for the endpoint, we also have like a few built-in functions in the rough language to basically create contract and issue tokens. That's something that we can use if we want to like issue token within the smart contract. So in the smart contract, you can call these functions to basically issue tokens, and so it's basically just a function call. Yeah, those are the three ways that we can use to create contract and issue tokens. But at the lowest level, basically all these things they call a function in the language, and invoke some instructions in the VM. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So next question. With the upcoming token support, will it work in the same way as it does on Ethereum and other blockchain, where every token has its own contract address, which need to be added manually to the wallet in order to be visible? Or does the Alefium virtual machine offer a new way of managing token minted on the Alefium blockchain? Cheng, do you have something to answer to this question?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's nowadays a very big UX issue on EVM, because users have to add token manually in a lot of cases. But it's not going to be a problem on Alefium, because we are built on UTXO model. The token becomes the first-class citizen. That makes it very easy and first possible, and also very easy to retrieve users all of the tokens and display them in the wallet. We also have a repo called token list to store the more metadata for tokens, such as the logo, and this can make the display in the wallet more user-friendly. But Currently, our wallet, our extension wallet works nicely in this way, and also our desktop wallet as well. But even in the case that such kind of metadata is not available, we are developing some new measures to help in that case. We are working on introducing a new a feature called standard interface identifier to the contract system. With that, you can query on-chain to kind of guess what type of token that it is, like whether the token is a fungible token or whether the token is an NFT token, and then you can, based on the token type, you can fetch the metadata, the on-chain metadata, and then you use those metadata to display the token on the wallet. So in this way, you really need any off-chain data. Of course, there are some security issues with this. We need to show proper information on in the wallet to say that this is purely based on-chain data and it's not verified, for example. But you can really boost the user experience in this case. So overall, as a result, for users, there's really no need to add the token manually because of our UTXO model and because of the new features we are working on. This is really, I think, is really a great reason that's why UTXO model is going to be the future for future DApp development. Is a good paradigm.
Thank you, Cheng. I have now a question that I will take on. Can you confirm that coins flowing through the bridge are safe and secure, given Solidity history of hack and wormhole? I'm curious about the safety of the Alefium bridge, especially since Alefium claims that the Ralph language is supposedly safer than Solidity. Do you still stand behind this claim? So I think there are a number of things to address in this question. It is impossible to guarantee a bug-free software or guarantee 100% that nothing will ever happen, that the smartest hacker won't find a way in. That being said, for the bridge, we have chosen to work on a wormhole fork. Wormhole is one of the most used and potentially, as a result, most tested bridge. Yes, there has been, which means that we are working with known vulnerabilities, and it's a lot easier to build on something if you know what you need to be look out for and what safeguards you need to be in place, where they're using, for example, a less known bridge that might not have been as tested through times and with funds, and then you're building on something where you don't know what vulnerability you might have to look for. And in the case of wormhole, most of the issue did not happen really on the wormhole side of things, but rather on the smart contract that was on the chain side. So which means for us that we have to be very mindful about, how do we implement our side of the smart contracts and everything, which this is why bridge in general still are one of the most vulnerable piece of infrastructure in any blockchain ecosystem. This is why we are spending a lot of time testing, and I can already take this opportunity to mention, even after the upgrade is completed, it will still take a few weeks and maybe even a couple of months for the bridge to be released, because we have further testing that we want to continue on before releasing it. And then there was a questions about Ralph, and by Ralph Solidity, one point that we have made before is like both Ralph and Alfred, they have been designed specifically to make it easy to build secure code. So what we stand behind is the fact that it is much, much easier to build a safer smart contract and a secure smart contract on Alefium than it is currently on Solidity. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything. Otherwise, I'll go to the next question. Okay, then I will go on the next question. With Alefium running his own VM and his own smart language, which is being claimed as more secure as a language than Solidity on Ethereum, would you stand behind that it is a better option for someone to build an Alefium-based DEX instead of an Ethereum-based one? So I think it really depends what you're looking for when building your DEX. If you're looking for a better developer experience, if you are looking for better security, also being able to leverage the new paradigm brought by the UTXO model, which are not available, for example, on an account-based chain, definitely Alefium might be the best decision for you. Obviously, today, if you're building a DEX and what you want is a large ecosystem that already existing, you want to already tap into a large user base, then obviously, then the choice for you that would make the most sense is Ethereum for a little while longer. Hopefully, in a few years, we'll be able to say that even on that front, Alefium is a better choice. But if we're realistic, we still have a little bit of time to go before we reach that point. So now we have finished all of the questions that were collected over the last week. This is the opportunity for you. If you have any additional question that you would like to ask, you can ask it either on Twitter. You could even ask it on Discord, but we might take a little bit more time for us to find it. So ideally, if you can ask it directly on the YouTube streaming that we have, we'll get the questions and we'll try to answer them. And if there are no questions at that point in time, then this will mark the end of the IMA. So I'll give just, because we have a little bit of delay between the moment I speak and the moment people hear it. So I will wait a couple of minutes to see if any questions pop up. But if you did not have an opportunity to ask the question now, you can always ask it in any of our channel, Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Reddit, and we'll make sure to answer them promptly.
We did have a question on YouTube, I believe, whether what do I do if my wallet displays all unknown tokens that I received from random people? And the answer to this is that you would basically have two options. You can choose to hide them. We will make sure to have this option at least on the desktop wallet. And secondly, you could also burn them by just sending them to a burn address and then out of mind, out of sight, out of sight, out of mind.
Thank you, Elias.
I add to that answer. So Ilya mentioned that we could burn the token. That's totally right. Actually, we have two ways to burn it. One way is the classical Bitcoin ways. You send it to a burning address. And then the second way is we have an instruction in the virtual machine that you can burn token directly, actually. So that can be a slightly more clean to the burning.
Cool. Thank you, Cheng. There was a question on Discord where asking us where does the team see the project being in 5 years' time. So I don't know if anyone wants to take this question. Otherwise, I can give it a try and anyone can build on whatever I said. I think in 5 years' time, I hope to see like a flourishing ecosystem on Alefium. With the classic decentralized application that you see on other ecosystems, but also new decentralized application that would be leveraging and leveraging the new paradigm and the innovation that Alefium has done. I hope to see the project being a lot more community-driven, if that makes sense, meaning that we see more developers that are contributing to the full node code, having more and more people contributing also to the core pieces of the Alefium blockchain. And that is, I think this is it. This is it for me. Maybe one last thing. I do hope that 5 years from now, Alefium will have been able to demonstrate that UTXO-based decentralized application are a very exciting field and something that really is a great path for the future of blockchain, Web3, and whatever the name of this will be in 5 years.
Yeah, I want to echo on what Mod said. I personally want to see the kind of the rising of the UTXO paradigm for building the apps and the decentralized applications. Especially the state of UTXO really combines the base of account model and the UTXO model. And on the application side, because we are a sharded blockchain, we have higher throughput and lower gas fee. So I would expect people really to build applications that require a high throughput. And right now, I think if you really build some such kind of applications on a very decentralized blockchain, I believe that Alefium right now is the only option in the market. So in 5 years, I hope that these concepts can be proven by the market, and we can attract people to build such type of applications on top of Alefium. And also, I want to see is with the development of the ecosystem, with a lot of applications built on top of it, we can demonstrate that the security of Alefium, especially the virtual machine and the programming language, is really much higher than the other projects. And this can be a good selling point for the long term for Alefium. And last, I would expect a lot of activity being built based on the peer-to-peer transaction model. This can really be a huge advantage of the UTXO model. It can basically, for example, if you try to build a DEX based on the peer-to-peer transactions, with the AMA approach, you're going to have a lot of issues like implement loss. But with peer-to-peer transactions, you can basically trade with the exact price you want to trade just on chain with just one transactions. And this right now in the market, there's no no big project on this. But I think for the long term, this is going to be an area that has a lot of potential. So hopefully in 5 years, we're going to see a lot of such activities on Alefium. And also, I would like to see more interactions with other ecosystems, especially with Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is the most decentralized and biggest blockchain in the space, but the interaction is not really great because right now the Ethereum ecosystem is based on account model, and the Bitcoin is based on UTXO model, and the signature is also different. Right now the big one is the Schnorr signature. So because Alefium is based on UTXO, and also recently we have added the Schnorr signature support. So the interoperability between Bitcoin and the Alefium is going to be great, probably the best blockchain right now in the world. So I would expect we build a lot of more applications and the apps in this direction, and it's going to be huge if we manage to make any progress in this direction. So in 5 years, I definitely anticipate that we can do a lot of things in this direction. So that's all. And the last, if really the space grows very well, then it means massive adoption is going to happen in like 3 or 4 years. And then in this case, like even with the sharded blockchain, it's not going to be enough for massive adoption, right? So in this case, we are going to probably like in 2 to 3 years, we're going to start to build layer 2 technology for Alefium. And then with layer 1 and the layer 2, we can really provide a much higher throughput, and also layer 2 could provide a transaction system, on-chain transaction system with much lower latency, so that can provide very good user experience. But no matter it's layer 1 or layer 2, it's all going to be built on the UTXO model, built on our virtual machine to leverage the great security benefits or advantages of all of the research work we have done in the past 4 years. So I think the next 5 years is really going to see like the great benefits of our research to make Alefium shine in the whole space. Yeah, that's the story. It's a bit long.
That's all right. So I have a question for the front-end team, because someone is going sleepless over the new desktop wallet. When can we expect it?
Make a go for this.
Well, it's nice to see people interested in it. We target a release in the next couple of weeks. So basically, let's say we're pretty much done. All the features are implemented, but since the very beginning of Alefium, we have quite high standard in terms of quality of what we want to release. Because we really think that we are building products that are made to last. So we don't necessarily want to rush into things. Even though I have to say, I think we are quite fast knowing like the size of the team we have. So yeah, we are targeting a release in the next 2 to 3 weeks to make sure that everything is working well. And then we will put our full focus on the mobile wallets. But yeah, here you have it. By the way, if you're really like you really want to test it, you could. You can go and check our GitHub, and you could build a project. You can do that right away. So yeah, but yeah, it's gonna come quickly.
Soon, as we always
Soon
say.
here.
I don't want to say soon because so many projects are saying this word way too often. So we're gonna be quick.
Yes. So the next question from Oika. After the update, will hackathon be organized this year? And so I feel like I answered this at some point, but maybe I speak very fast, so maybe you missed it. But yes, we will organize our first hackathon this year. So yes. So now I think we have answered pretty much every question that came up. Unless there's anything that is coming up last minute, I think that this is the perfect time for us to stop this Ask Me Anything. Again, I say it again, if there are any additional question that comes up, as you know, we try to be super available on a different channel and be very responsive. Especially if you're starting to build on Alefium and you have questions about anything, the core developer are always there to help you and assist you in that. So don't hesitate. And if that is it, I think I wish you all a good evening, a good day, and everything. So thank you very much for tuning in with us today.
Thanks.
Seth, you have to tell us when we're not recording anymore.